Join me today for a video about a Yamaha cassette deck which I've been lucky to pick up off eBay for £32 including postage and packaging. I'm not sure actually on the condition of the machine, but it will be interesting to find out. What I'm showing you here actually is a Technics free-head cassette deck, one of my several cassette decks that I own. The other cassette deck that I own is this Sony free-head cassette deck TC177, of which I have made a couple of videos now about it. This video now will be me opening up a Yamaha cassette deck bought on eBay, and it's not a free head, it is a two head, but a premium two head, I'm led to believe. Anyway, let's get started on that. Please can you like this video and subscribe? If you could do that early on, that actually helps me work out whether or not you like these sorts of videos or not. This was bought quite recently on eBay for the price of £17. The postage was set quite high at £15, and I'm a little bit sort of annoyed really with the seller, because it's not in a box, it's obviously been bubble wrapped and then put into this bag, so you can kind of feel the edges here. There's also the plug there, so I don't know if that's going to damage the machine. Hopefully the plug is on the bottom of the machine, so not to kind of scratch the top. But anyway, let's crack this open. And here you can see it's ruined the top of the machine. It was like that. As you can see, the plug, instead of being facing the bottom of the machine, which wouldn't have mattered, the seller decided to put it like that and then wrap bubble wrap around it. So first impressions are not good. I mean, it's a worn machine, but it's not bad condition, but totally ruined by the fact that the seller decided to do that. So I will send a message to this seller of this, because I think they need to know how to wrap things up properly. It's not really good enough, is it? Not if you're prepared to charge £15 for postage and packaging and then skimp on the actual packaging part. Okay, so first look is this here seems to be broken, so it does seem to have been snapped at some stage, which is interesting because this is actually metal, the actual flap that covers these settings. So I suppose I could leave it down like that. So you can see you've got various buttons, headphones, a level for the headphones, a bias adjustment, play trim, balance, and level as well. That's all related to recording, and then Dolby settings here. So the reason why I mentioned this is a high-end kind of machine, it's high in the fact that to get the S-type Dolby, the machine has to be engineered in quite a decent fashion. So that's why this is a Dolby B and a C and an S. So if you're looking for like the next step down, I guess, from sort of free head cassette decks in the way that they're probably manufactured, then that would be the S Dolby decks like this. So this is a Yamaha, and it's a natural sound stereo cassette deck KX-580, and it mentions the GF head here, cassette stabilizer. So it's a bit marked in places. Working on a bit of a limited setup here in terms of my space, so it always makes making videos a little bit tricky. But anyway, let's move ahead. So there should be some analog ins and outs here, that's what that is, and then it's just using a measly 16 watts of power, which is good, and that's all there is to say on the back. So it's made in Malaysia. Let's get this powered on and see if I can eject the cassette. It does seem to be turning the wheels there, and oh, there is a cassette inside there. So can I stop this? Well, that's the mechanism. and the eject works as well. So this is, together, Julian Bream and John Williams guitars, 1972. That's what was in there. So inside, you can see the Yamaha labelled head. So that's the play and record, and this is the arrays here. Well, it looks like it's had a little bit of use. You can tell the pinch rollers kind of colour. Maybe get a bit more light in there. It's had some tape running over that, hasn't it? But it does seem to be not too bad. Let's close that up. Alright, it seems to play. I haven't put it onto an amplifier yet, so I thought the first thing to do is just have a look at the condition of the thing inside. Now, you know, with Yamaha, you really have a quality item, regardless of how kind of thrown about it is or beaten up it is. It's still a quality item. So it's quite heavyweight metal, this, but there is evidence that it's kind of dented slightly. Don't know if you can see it in the light. Possibly. So power coming in, transformer, and then this looks to be going over to the main board here. Looks like some quality capacitors there. Quite a few capacitors, to be fair, smaller ones though. Now obviously it's a touch sensitive sort of control. There's a lot going on in terms of controlling the direction of the tape. There's a music search, I believe. It says intro scan, so it's all logic, full logic controlled. And on this board, this might be the Dolby side. It says on here Dolby-S NR over on there, and then it says Dolby-IC, maybe switch there. Dolby-BC on this board, so it's almost like an afterthought. When I say afterthought, it's like an additional thing. Now this is obviously meant for, this case is meant for cassette decks with more features, because the holes are kind of already there, but obviously not used. So standard kind of design they're following there. Now this is the tape side, and it goes back to 96, so we're looking at 30 years old, this. And it is very clean inside. No dust in here at all. It's pretty good in that respect. The bout is one of these thick flat ones. There's still some tension on there, but that might be something that needs doing at some point. Now in terms of other bouts, there seems to be a top motor here, and I wonder if that's responsible for driving the direction and how that is all kind of working underneath. So I can't see any evidence of more bouts, I can only see the one main bout there. Could it be kind of like a direct drive system going on from this one that's driving the rewind and forward? I'll have to watch some more videos myself, I think, to find out. What I'm going to do is power it on and just see it moving in the back here. So that's that one. That's it playing. So that's the rewind and forward. And I'm stopping it. So it seems to be working all right. I suppose this is a little bit like buying cars. Maybe buying a Yamaha cassette deck is a bit like buying a Toyota. They're pretty well engineered, aren't they? So there's a collection of fairly recent cassettes that I've got hold of. Now I have got a whole box of old cassettes from the 80s. Well, yeah, the 80s really, and part of the 90s before CDs became popular. So I've got a lot of my own cassettes, but these are ones that I've bought for the princely sum of 20 pence each. So they're not bad condition, actually. Quite lucky to get these. And in fact, I'm going to try this first one because it looks to be in really good condition. Probably not really use very much. And on here it actually mentions HX Pro Dolby-B noise reduction. So that's the Pretenders. So let's pop that in, plug in my headphones, and give you my first initial verdict. Do I actually hear anything? I suppose that's what I should be looking for, really. Okay, let's play. I can hear the lead in. All right, let's try the search, shall we? That does seem to work. Well, I'm definitely getting music out, and it's loud. It sounds pretty good, actually. The tape speed to my ear sounds fine. I was expecting maybe it to be a tad different, because when belts change they do often affect the sound, so I was expecting it possibly to maybe go a little bit faster. Alright, let's stick in the Donna. That's the True Blue album, and then I'll press play. Okay, that sounds good. So I'm going to give this a little clean in here and then try the tape again, see if I make any slight improvement or not. So as you can see, it is a bit dirty, that head. I'm just using some isopropyl, some alcohol on this. Yeah, let's try another one. And then I'm just going to try cleaning in here. Now, what do you owners think of this model or above? How many stars would you give it compared to other decks? What have you had to do? Have you had to do anything on your own deck like this? Have you had to change belts, or have you had to change the capstan, for example? Any problems with this Yamaha head here? I noticed the display is a little bit dim, but that might be fine. That might be as it always has been, but it does look like it's probably faded a bit, I think, to probably what the spec is, but I haven't got anything to compare against, so some comments would be really useful, actually. And has anyone had any problems with the door like this? So it seems to be, I think it's like a metal door. Maybe the catch is plastic. Maybe that's why it's broken like that. Anyway, let's open this up again and just make sure that's dry before I put the tape in. I might put a different tape in, the one that came with the machine. Let it run on the plastic lead in just for a minute. I might just rewind this to the beginning as well. So though you can obviously monitor your recording as you're making it, because it's only a 2-head, and because it's got this Dolby-S, in theory it should be able to record pretty well if it's set up, but it may need some calibration. That's the only thing. Does seem to be playing fine. What I'm going to do is get the cover on. I'm going to substitute my Technics, which I've had upstairs for quite a while. I'm going to swap it out for this one and give this a bit of a go on the actual amplifier upstairs. Now, it does seem to be slightly more pronounced in the left channel on the meter than the right channel, and I've tried several cassettes, so I think I'm going to have to give this head a deeper clean. And you can see now I've got the light on, you can see it's had quite a bit of use, although the capstan does look intact, it still looks fine. A little bit more dirt came off, but not, I wouldn't say a huge amount, but yeah, some did. So let's take another look. So maybe my problem is alignment, although it doesn't look like it's been adjusted. or it could just be a knackered head. But anyway, let's put a tape in and see if it's made any difference. Please can you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you already haven't, and most importantly to me it would be really useful if you can leave me some comments about this particular model of Yamaha, or any that are close to this, anything I should be doing just to get the best out of it before I delve into the recording side of it. In your opinion, what is the better deck? The Technics RSBX 606 or the Yamaha KX-680? Thank you for watching. Bye for now.